Week at Sales Qualia, and what I want to do in this video, in this LinkedIn Live, or maybe on the podcast if you're listening, is I want to do three things with you over the next 20 minutes or so. So number one, what I want to do most importantly is share with you how we here in our Startup Selling Coaching Program, how I'm personally thinking about this, and how I want you to be thinking about the next quarter. So this is the big push in Q4 that a lot of us are at. You've got 3 months to go in 2021. Many of us are thinking about that big push towards sales for the rest of this year. And also I want to talk about how to think about everything beyond 2021. So the theme that we're going to be discussing is what I call sales, systems, and self. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to do is tell you how to get some more help from me, from the rest of our team, if you want to get some help. One of the things that we're doing every single week now is running a webinar. So in the comments down below, you'll see a link that it takes you to salesqualia.com/sales_webinar, singular. And on that page, there's going to be a couple of different webinars that you can sign up and pick your day, pick your time that you want to join. We'll talk more about that in this video. And the third thing I want to do is leave you with a super quick tactical sales tip that I know that you can put to work right away today so that you can help to generate more leads, more conversations in the top of your sales funnel. So that's the agenda for today. I'm pretty stoked about it. I've been working really hard on this for our clients over the last couple of weeks and months, and we're rolling this whole program out to them. And I also want to share this with you because whether you're a client or not, our job here at Sales Qualia is, our mission here at Sales Qualia is to help 100 B2B tech startups reach $10 million in annual recurring revenue. We want to do that in the next 10 years. If you do the math on that, that's a big number. It comes to $1 billion. So that's our mission here. And so whether you're a client or a future client, this process or this theme of sales, system, self, I think is going to be the next step along the way for you in your journey. So let's dig in. Let's talk about sales, systems, and self. So what I want to do is just start with a very simple model. Some of you may have seen me talk about this model in the past. It's really the core framework for everything that we do here at Sales Qualia with our clients. It's really the genesis of why I started the company in the first place. And this model is called Idea to Impact, from idea to impact. Let me just take a quick moment or two to talk through this model and then talk about how that works into the sales, systems, self framework that we're going to be talking through. So the way that Idea to Impact works is like, look, every single startup founder out there, you all started with an idea. All of us, my company started with an idea. Like, hey, I got an idea for this company. There's a problem that needs to be solved. There's a service that needs to be provided. There's people that need help. And I want to provide that help. You want to provide that help. And that's just the starting point. Where we really want to go with our company, with our journey, is to really make a big impact in our market for our customers, for our clients, right? Like I just said, our impact that we want to make, our 10-year mission is to help 100 startups reach $10 million in ARR. That's $1 billion impact. That's pretty awesome, right? So all of you, I'm assuming you probably have a similar mission, a similar vision for your company. That's why you set out to do what you do every single day. We also know that that journey is really a series of phases, a series of steps. A lot of you have heard me talk about how startups are ultra marathons. You've got this really long journey ahead of you, and that journey is really a series of steps along the way. And these three main phases are what I call the startup phase, the ramp-up phase, and the scale-up phase. In that startup phase, this is really getting out of the garage, and you're out there, you built your product, and what you're trying to do is get your first 10 paying customers, right? You're trying to get revenue in the door. You're trying to establish what I call problem product fit, right? Before you get product market fit, you got to get product problem fit. And really what we're trying to do is establish viability. Hey, build a product, it solves a problem. People give me money. That's a business, right? That's viability. That's what we're trying to do in that startup phase. The second phase is what we call ramp up. The ramp up phase is, look, now that we've proven some product problem fit, let's see if we can get some repeatability in our sales process, right? Because that first phase, usually from a revenue standpoint, if you're a B2B tech startup, if you're selling to the enterprise, that revenue level is going to be somewhere between, say, roughly 100K to 300K in annual revenue, right? Those first 10 or so customers. So a great jump out of zero. You're getting to that literally 0 to 1, those first couple $100,000 in revenue. And once you've gotten there, now it's that race to that magic million. Everyone talks about the $1 million in annual recurring revenue, typically because that's where most investors will start talking seriously to you about a Series A. And the reason they choose $1 million is because they know that in that early stage, you can hustle and grind and grit and sweat and do all those things to get those first 10 customers. However, to get to $1 million in revenue, that's where things are getting real. That's where you turn that viable business into a repeatable business, right? You need systems that will help support that revenue growth. Systems around lead generation, systems around pipeline management, systems around pricing, customer onboarding, customer success, some basic systems around hiring and building out a sales team and managing that team, right? And so that repeatability is proven through that ramp up phase. And then finally, of course, then there's the scale up phase, right? Where we want to get scalability. And that's where we're making big jumps, right? We're going from $1 million to $3 million in revenue, $3 million to $10 million in revenue, $10 million to $30 million in revenue. And why it might have taken you way back in that startup phase, it might have taken you 12, 18, 24 months or longer to get the first 100, 200, 300K in revenue. Now in that same time period, 12, 18, 24 months, you've got to jump by triple. You got to go from 1 million to 3 million, 3 million to 10 million, 10 million to 30 million. Each one of those big jumps, those triplings, will take you 12, 18, 24 months. So in the past, when you only needed to grow by 100K, now you've got to grow by millions. You got to be growing 10K a week or 10K a day, right? It gets pretty ridiculous, but that's the whole point of scalability. So that's the idea to impact journey that all of us have been on, that we're on right now as a startup, that we're trying to grow and ramp and scale, right? So how does that relate to sales, systems, and self, that theme that I'm talking about? Well, when I start talking about repeatable systems, we start talking about sales process. We know if we could just take a basic sales funnel, we just break it down and use Occam's razor, right? Make things as simple as possible, but no simpler, right? At the top of the sales funnel, it's all about generating leads. Then once we have those leads, it's about building up a sales pipeline of active deals. And then of course, we want to convert those deals and turn those into paying customers. And so the whole idea, of course, at the bottom of the funnel, we want to generate revenue. And this is where sales, systems, and self starts to come in. Because at the top of the funnel, how do we generate those leads? Well, there's activity that we can do day to day, and there's systems that we need to build for the longer term. So when it comes to generating leads, it's things like, what are the funnel fillers, FF, I use for short. What are the funnel fillers that you need in order to bring new leads in every single day? How are we leveraging our authority voice, AV, our authority voice in our marketplace? Because we know, and you know more about that problem. You know more about this situation that you're solving every single day than your customers do. So they deserve to hear from you, right? That's a way to help generate leads. And then, of course, we have to qualify those leads, have a lead qualification strategy. That's all part of that top of the sales funnel. Those are the selling activities we're doing every day. And those need to be systems in our sales process, right? Then the second piece, like the sales pipeline, what are all the activities that you're doing in the middle of the pipeline? Well, that's things like, how are you designing your demo design? How are you prospect partnering, turning those demos into work plans and implementation plans? And finally, how are you keeping momentum in the sale? Again, these are sales activities you're doing every day. You're giving demos. You're trying to figure out ways to partner with your prospect. You're finding ways to keep momentum through that enterprise sales. Those are important from a selling standpoint, day to day, week to week. We got to do that to convert deals and grow revenue. But there's also need to be systems in our sales process so that we know exactly how everybody in our team is going to be running demos. We have a playbook for how we do prospect, how we do partner with our prospect. We know what to do to keep momentum going or what to do if a deal stalls out. Those need to be repeatable systems. And then finally, when we want to convert those deals, that pipeline into paying customers, then we need to show ROI. We need to talk about why are they going to buy from us. That needs to be a system, ROI assessments, cost benefit analysis. We need a way to reduce risk, which we call risk reducers, whether that's setting up POCs or pilots or paid implementations or phased implementations, right? Again, we're doing this stuff every day to convert the deals in the pipeline right now in Q4, and those need to be systems that need to be built and implemented as part of our repeatable sales process. And then finally, of course, our customer success strategy. What do we do to onboard, make sure that we implement correctly, that we're training our new customers, that our customers are actually using the platform the way it's designed, all of those things. And so those are the core systems, and those are the core activities that we're doing each and every day, right? So on what we're doing with leads is like, look, how many qualified leads can we bring? That's the core metric at the top of the funnel around your sales pipeline, is how many deals can we convert into our paying customers. And then, of course, at the bottom, that last third of the sales funnel is customers. How much revenue are we generating? The metric might be average contract value. It might be average revenue per user. Down the road, it's going to be retention rates and resells and upsells, right? So it's the number of qualified leads, the percentage of those deals that convert, and how many dollars you're getting per customers. That's your basic sales funnel. So what does this all lead us? Well, from a systems standpoint, we need to take that selling activity that you're doing right now in this Q4 push and think coherently about how do we take those activities, but also simultaneously build the systems that need to be built to get the repeatable, scalable sales process, right? And you may have heard me talk about these 9 sales accelerators, everything that I just talked through, from funnel fillers all the way through to your customer success strategy. And based on the level that you are at from a revenue standpoint, if you're in that startup phase, the way that you're going to generate leads, the way that you're going to actively manage those deals in your pipeline, the way that you're going to convert those deals and price those deals, that's going to be a set of systems that you need at the startup phase. And then those systems are going to need to change as you grow and move into that ramp up phase. Because then again, from a ramp up standpoint, when you're trying to get repeatability, the way that you're going to fill the funnel and generate leads, the way you're going to manage deals and price deals is going to change. The way you're going to support customers and price with customers is going to change. Those systems are going to change as your company is moving up that growth curve. And then finally, of course, when you're scaling up, again, things are going to shift.